Welcome to the International Librarians Network presented by Group E of Emerging Leaders 2020-2021. Group E consists of Shayla Boyce, Jesse Caldwell, Damiana Fortenberry, Lauren Frazier, Zoe McLaughlin, and Erica Sato. The International Librarians Network was originally an organization that began in Australia. This program was ended in 2017 due to issues with funding. In 2019, Emerging Leaders Group G was tasked with researching best practices and planning the program. Group G built the foundation of this program, and the 2020 Emerging Leaders Group was tasked with bringing the program to life. The goals of the project were to facilitate international exchange and partnerships, to establish and build a global network, and to support knowledge and information exchange among colleagues around the world.
In order for this program to be a success, it was important that we got the word out about it. The original program announcement was first published in the March 2020 issue of the International Leads and posted on the IRRT homepage. Group E also decided to create flyers, which can be seen on this slide, that could be posted and shared on various online platforms. Flyers are translated and published in the world's major languages to attract more candidates internationally and generate more interest. All the translations were made by Group E members or volunteers recruited by Group E. The announcement and the flyers were distributed on different social networks, such as Facebook, and various groups within Facebook, and also email discussion lists, such as the ALA IRRT list.
So thanks to a successful marketing campaign, the ILNP had an overwhelming response with over 450 submissions from 70 countries. And the first step was to evaluate the responses and rule out any that did not meet the minimum expectations. But even so, we had an overwhelming response. Our original plan was to manage 25 pairs with a total of 50 participants, but due to the large pool of applicants, we increased the number of pairs, and 47 pairs and one trio was accepted into the program from 46 different countries. And a special selection process was developed to ensure that the same guidelines were followed to create and match the pairs, such as interests and focus in library work. And here you can see a map where our participants were located. And as you can see, all continents except for Antarctica were represented. And to make sure that the participants were getting out of the program what they thought they were going to get, we offered a mid-program evaluation, which 53 participants replied to, as well as a final evaluation, which 42 participants replied to. Overwhelmingly, they said they received enough information and guidelines to benefit from the program and would recommend the program to others. And in the final evaluation survey, most were very satisfied with their experience in the program. As you can see, most answered 3, 4, or 5 with how satisfied are you with your experience in the program.
At the end of the program, it was important to gain insightful feedback and positive words that could be shared amongst future participants. We gathered some testimonials, and many of the testimonials focused on the topics that were discussed among the pairs. These topics include how COVID-19 impacted the function of their libraries, how to create and improve services in their libraries, learn more about library science and librarian career in other countries, and also shared professional development tools to help improve their career and make them better librarians. Recommendations from the 2020 participants were very important. It would help us gain insight into how to make the 2021 program better. As a brief summary, virtual conference with all participants would be important. Get everyone together so they can talk. More interaction and engagement with the liaisons. Year-round support for the program. Small groups instead of having just pairs so there could be more discussion. Assign final project at the end of the program so they had something to work toward. And provide more readings and videos to give the participants something very concrete to discuss in each of their meetings.
There were several things that impacted this round of the program, the most obvious being the coronavirus pandemic, which caused changes in circumstances for many participants. Some participants were also working with spotty internet connections. We also had not developed a complex matching system, which led to some pairs who felt they were not well matched. The large amount of interest we received was exciting, but also led to a greater number of participants per liaison, which meant that individual pairs did not receive as much attention as they would have if the cohort had been smaller. At the conclusion of the program, we made several recommendations to the International Relations Roundtable. the primary one being to establish a committee to run the program. This would allow for sustained leadership of the program over a longer period of time than an emerging leaders team could provide. We also recommended selecting a smaller group of participants so that each liaison would be responsible for fewer people. A more in-depth intake survey would also allow for closer matches. Finally, suggestions from the closing survey, such as allowing for work in small groups, could also be incorporated into new rounds of the program.
The good news is that we submit a proposal to the IRRT board in October 2020, and in November of 2020, the board approved the creation of a subcommittee to run the program. Musgan, our mentor, and me, Erica Saito, we are still in this subcommittee, and we call volunteers in February 2021. We were able to find 4 volunteers from IRRT. We opened the applications in March, and now in April, we are doing the selection process. We are following the recommendation to reduce the number of participants. So this year, we will try to call only 30 pairs. We receive applications from more than 207 participants from 39 countries. We are trying to incorporate the suggestions the 2020 participants sent to us, such as offer a webinar to all the participants in the beginning of the program, and also request final project by the end of the program. We are going to offer a template, and we are still figuring out which platform they are going to share this final poster. If you want to learn more about the project, you can find more information in the IRRT website. We are going to share this presentation, so you just need to click on the links. And if you have any questions, we are going to be available in the Q&A session, but you feel free to send us also an email. The email is also in the slide. Thank you very much.